I'm really, really excited about our next speaker. Jeremy has, I don't know how many of you are a fan of track bicycles, but Jeremy has done an amazing, amazing job in the transformation of their brand and digital. If you haven't checked out their videos and their wonderful content on their site, it's definitely quite something to see. In relationship to 3M, though, I think that there are many ties, especially on the B2B side, where we're not the retailer, and there are many bicycle shops that they work with, and I think there's a huge opportunity for us to learn a lot on how they're engaging their community. So please help me welcome Jeremy.
Thank you. Oh, it's on now. All right, so who here rides a bike? Awesome, wow. That's outstanding. So this is a sweet bike, right? This bike rocks. It costs about $12,000, and you know what? I can't sell it to you. I can't sell it to you, right? How do I click this thing? No one gave me a clicker. They clap. Thank you. All right, so this one, if you want a mountain bike, this is probably one of the best mountain bikes you can buy. It's about $8,000. I can't sell you this bike, right? Maybe this is more your speed. You just want to get around town, you got a couple speeds, you want to look good doing it. It's about $750. I can't sell you this bike, right? Maybe you need a bike for your kid, $250, a little less. Again, I don't sell this bike to you. My kid's got one, but I can't sell it to you. Maybe this is more your speed, right? This is the fastest bike in the world. It's proven, right? This bike costs you $13,000, $14,000 depending on how you build it. I can't sell you this bike. The point is, every bike that we sell is sold through an independent retailer that I have very little control over, right? Every bike that is sold through them. You can't go to Trek in Waterloo and buy a bike from me. I can't sell you one. You can't go to trekbikes.com and buy a bike. We don't sell them there. The only place we sell them is an independent bicycle retailer. And so things are difficult for us that way because we're a big brand. We do a lot of brand marketing. We do a lot of different things. You mentioned that we've done a lot of great stuff on our stories and our social marketing. It's actually not my job so much. Thank you. I want to clear that up. We've got a team of people that do that at Trek. I get to work with the crazy people. We've got roughly 2,000 stores in North America with about 1,800 different owners, and they're all crazy. Every one of them is crazy. They all got into the business for a different reason. Maybe they were a mechanic, and they're like, I can do this. I can have a shop. Maybe they had other businesses. They came from somewhere else. They all mostly started with a love for bikes. Well, a love for bikes doesn't always make you a great business person, right? And it certainly may not make you a great marketer. And so I find that I'm uniquely qualified for my position. If you read my bio, I've worked in mental hospitals, emotional growth boarding schools, gang prevention programs, and at a bike shop for about 15 years. And so it helps me to work with these people because they all have a different idea of how it's going to work. And they're all different. And we've got stores like this. This is actually one of the stores that I came from in the Seattle area. Beautiful store. 2 floors of bikes. You see it from the street. It's amazing. And we have stores like this that need to tell people that they're actually open to the public. All right, so you see what I'm working with, right? I've got stores that have websites that look pretty darn good. You know, it's not probably the best website you've seen, but it's a nice website. It's certainly better than this one, right? So again, you can see what I'm working with, what I've got going on here. So the stuff that we've heard so far today is so far over my customer's head that for me if they were to sit here in here, they'd just go out and ride their bike, they'd be done. But I still have to think about it because it's all true. It's all still true to their business. And so how do I get that to them? Because again, I've got different, this is the store I was at in Seattle. And you can see that there's 2 stores. Up at the corner it says it's choose from 12 stores there. But my shop had that market locked up. This market, shops all over the place. So how do I help these guys differentiate themselves between the store across the street that's also a Trek retailer? How do I do that? How can I help those retailers be better retailers? So the thing is, Every year, there's a bike show in Vegas. It's called Interbike. Anybody know about that? Anybody been there? If you're a bike geek, you want to go there. All the new stuff is there. All the bike manufacturers there. All the parts and accessories. The retailers come. They do tons of orders. We don't go. Trek is not there. And the reason we don't go is because we found, okay, we're going to go there, and we're going to have to compete for time with our retailers for them to see our products. It doesn't do anything for us. So instead, what we do, this is our show. This is a smaller show that we do in Europe. We have what we call Trek World. And instead of going to Vegas and making our dealers come to Vegas to see us, we bring them into Waterloo. We bring them into Madison. We bring them into, this is at Silverstone in the UK. We bring them into different places in Australia and Germany and all kinds of different places. And we have Trek World, and we bring them in for 3 days. We feed them good food. We put them up in a hotel. We give them a bunch of beer. We talk about our products, our services. And what I find in the last 3 that I've been to is that they're continually asking us, how do I be a better business? How can we do better? Because they're understanding that there's competition coming from all sides. They're not competing with the bike shop across the street. They're competing with a kid with their iPhone, right? They're competing for people's free time. They're competing for people's free money because no one needs a bike. It's something you buy if you have the time to do it. And so they're asking us, how can we be better? And so I put together a presentation last year. It was 10 steps to great marketing, something like that. And it was pretty basic stuff. The first one was have a story, right? You'd think, okay, we're all marketers in this room. This is pretty basic stuff. But this is where I have to start with because a lot of these guys don't have a story. Why'd you start your bike shop? I don't know. It seemed like I could do it. So have a story. I don't know if you make something up, but have a story. Basic stuff. Get to first base with every customer, right? So this meant get an email from all your customers so that at some point, if you find that you might have the time, you could send them an email and let them know that you're doing a sale, right? So just basic stuff. Fire someone. You know who it is, right? And this is a huge message. You know this, right? Every one of the I said that in our presentation, and all the managers were like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. Because what they didn't realized and what I needed to tell them was that the employees in their shop, and we talked about this earlier, the employees in their shop were really their best or worst marketing tools. Because people come, and like somebody else said, people come into that shop and they think, okay, I need to talk to an expert. I need to talk to somebody who knows about bikes. And if this guy is a joker, you've lost and they've gone on to somebody else. You are not a designer. So our bike shop owners are a lot of things. They are not graphic designers. They are not store designers. They do a lot of things. This is an actual wall of product at a store that does pretty good business. So, it's amazing, isn't it? So what people don't understand is that the bike industry has done a really good job of selling to bike people for a long time. They've done a really poor job to selling to everybody else, right? And people expect anymore at least a Banana Republic experience. Right, when they walk into a bike shop, especially going to give those bikes $14,000. You're going to go into a place like this and throw down $14,000? No. So hire a designer. And then have a marketing plan. Again, really basic stuff. And understand that your plan will likely change. Right? Something's going to happen to make you change your plan. And so I figured, these are only 5 of my tips. I figured I'd have 10 of them. People would come in, they would see a few that they might be able to do. They'd work on that, and they'd go home and they'd do that. And I figured that would be a good way to go. And it was, but pretty soon I realized that I had to change my plan because just telling them to do it wasn't enough. We'd been doing best practices for years. We write them out, we show best practices, we come up with all kinds of great examples of how they worked. We post them on our business site, we put them up there, we point them to them, and nothing happens. They're like, oh yeah, that'd be great. That's great for that shop. It won't work here. And so what I needed to do was put together a toolbox to give enough tools that an owner could go into that toolbox, root around, find something that worked for them, something that worked for their business that they could actually attach to their business and make it work. And so we got all kinds of things there. We've got Retail Store Locator, Marketing Builder, Promo Box, which I'll talk about in a second. These guys are great. Trek TV Streaming, and Trek University, which you might not think is a marketing tool. But what we realized is one of the biggest challenges we have as a company is that we don't control our retail. We don't have any control over how they talk about our bikes, how they sell our bikes, what they say when they get there. I've walked into a bike shop and kind of done a secret shop type thing, and they've been like, oh yeah, you don't want a Trek, you want this bike. Really? Why not? And so we realized that we needed to put something together to train the employees at retail on how to talk about our products and do different things. And so we did Trek University. And it's been a really great success for us, and it's a great marketing tool because we can now tell people about our products because, again, those retail employees are our marketers on the field, so they have to know about our stuff. I had two principles when I created Trek University. One was speed to competency. I needed to get people up to speed on our products as soon as possible. And the other one is that people sell what they ride, and they sell what they know. Most retail employees at bike shops aren't very good. They really just aren't. So if they're riding the bike, it's going to be a lot easier for them to sell the bike. And if they learn about the other bikes that they're not riding, it's going to be a lot easier for them to do that. So that's what we did. We put this together, and now we've got 80 modules, all have points attached to them, with 7,000 retailers, independent retailer employees training, and they've done 350,000 trainings in the last 6 months. It's been a huge success for us. The other piece is that we've given away 2,500 pairs of gloves. You get to a certain point level, we send you a pair of gloves. Here, some awesome gloves. Thanks for training. We've given away 1,700 sets of tires, and we've given away 1,500 helmets. So it's an incentive to train, but really it's getting the product on them so that they know that when you come in to buy a helmet now, it's like, well, I own this helmet. You're going to want to buy the Bontrager helmet. So it's great. We get them training. They get free product. They're happy. They're psyched. They talk about Trek University all the time. Our highest level is ninja level. Everybody wants to be a ninja so they get their free helmet. It's been great for us in the digital area. The other thing that we wanted to be able to do was share some of the success that we have as a company. This is Chris Horner. He's 41. I don't know how many people actually follow cycling, and Lance isn't around anymore, so a lot of people don't. But Chris Horner has been around forever. He just won a huge race. He's 42 years old. We had a great time with this. Great success for Trek. Trek is the #1 performance brand in the world. That's what we'll tell you every time, and we live that message, and we show that message on our website. But our retailers need to share in that message because they are part of that message. And so how can I share that content with our retailers? Because I've got a DAM, I've got a digital asset management tool, and I put it all up there, and hopefully they go get it. But that just doesn't work. Again, it's, hey, it's there, go do it, please. I had to get a tool. And so I needed to be able to get them to be able to take these great stories. This is some of the stuff you talked about. We have a ton of videos on the stories page. We changed everything. We talked about that early in November, and said we're going to change how we show our brand and what we do with it. And so now we tell stories about people who ride our bikes. Heinz Ward is one of them. Everywhere. Great athletes ride Trek. It became something that we wanted to make sure that our retailers could be part of. We couldn't do it for them. It had to be part of their story. We couldn't force it to them. We couldn't just put it out there. We had to have stories that worked for them so that they could do it. But it was really, really, really hard because you go back to what I was talking about with our retailers. Some of them don't even have computers in their store. They're still writing out receipts. So how do we do it? For the ones that do have computers, what I did is I turned to the company called Promobox. And I actually looked them up. It was one of the things they didn't call me on this one. I actually called them and said, I see what you're doing. You're brand to retail. I've got a brand. I've got great stuff. My retailers don't use it. How can I help? How can you help me to help them use that content? And so what it allowed me to do is create that great content, share it with our retailers, let them customize that content, and then share it out through their channels. Which is great because not only do they share the content onto their channels, finally they've got a reason for people to go to their channels. So it helps bring people into their markets, into their Facebook, into their Twitter, and their different places. And the tool was so easy to use that the assistant manager from the service department could actually pull it off in the amount of time he had to do it, because that's what we're working with. And so it worked out really well. I was able to put together really good presentation, really good promotions, different giveaways, different things, and make it look like that retailer was putting out this really great content in their area, and they were able to customize it. Worked well for them because they could do it, and it worked well for us. This is one of our first promotions. You can see some of the numbers. We had 406,000 total visits on that, and almost 400,000 leads on our first promotion. And for us, we're a big company, but maybe small compared to some of the companies that are talking to you today. That was a huge promotion in, I think, 10 days for us to get that many leads. And the beauty of it wasn't just our leads. The leads also went to my independent retailers so that they could start marketing and doing the different things there. So it really was great for us. It was like telling your best friends a really good story and then knowing that they were going to tell everybody they knew and actually giving them the tool to do it. So that's what we did with Promobox, and it's really worked out well for us in a way that we could do it. So again, we talk about this. Every bike that we sell is through an independent retailer. And the thing is, my competition has the same issue. We're not unique in that in the bike industry. Most of the bike industry, if you want to buy a bike, you buy it from an independent retailer. The other thing that's not unique about what we sell, no one's going to like to hear this, at least back where I work, are the bikes. I can argue with you all day about the fact that I think Treks are the best bikes made. But if you love your Specialized, or you love your Cannondale, or you love your Surly here in Minnesota, I'm never going to convince you that our bikes are better. So we have to do different things with our retailers so that they can be great, so when you come into their shops, they can help you with the bike you want to do. Because we're not unique in product or the way we sell our product. And so what we are unique in is making sure that it's one of the ways that people ask me, okay, Specialized is your biggest competitor. How are you guys different? And I can't say the bikes because they make a really good bike. The way that we're different is that we really, really care about our retailers and making them the best businesses that they can be. And we understand that that's really the only way that we can win. Just, Tuesday night, we brought 170 of our retailers out to Waterloo. We call it Trek U on Campus. It's kind of a ride camp. They get to ride half the day and learn about our product the other half the day. But what we did first was take them out to John Burke's house. He lives right on the lake. We threw a nice party for them. We got to know them. We talked to them. And we did that. And one of the guys pulled me aside. He's like, you know what? This is why Trek's a great company. Because the personal things that you do with us to help us be better businesses. So we've talked a lot in here about the digital and what you can do there. And what I want to say in closing on this is that nothing's really changed. I love the defense thing that we looked at earlier, because really selling a product is about making a relationship with that customer. We just have more tools to do it now. But when it comes down to it, it's that relationship. And that's what we do with our retailers so they can build a relationship with their customers. So thanks. I guess we've got a few minutes for questions. No? No. Come find me later then. She held up a 3.